LaMelo Ball. I have no fucking idea where to rank LaMelo Ball.
I don't want to.
No idea. I have no idea where to put LaMelo Ball on a list like this. I defaulted a good amount lower than this, I feel like, on mine.
Did you? So
Yeah.
I'm actually the one that
by like a good
up.
amount, I mean like a few slots lower than this even. You were the one that had him a little bit higher than I did. So if you're looking for somebody to yell at for LaMelo Ball, having already made an all-star game and everything, and he's sitting here at number 13, I'm your guy. 23.9 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists last year, 1.8 steals. Shot 43, 36, 87 from the field. His career true shooting percentage is 4% below league average. Truly, when you watch LaMelo, he is one of the most dynamic, creative players that you will find in the league.
Yep.
I would say he has a unique, special basketball mind in terms of creativity. And yet he is so wild with his decision-making, shot selection, everything there on offense. And then the defense, we'll talk about the defense in a minute, but like he is so wild that it's hard to know where exactly it settles. The reason I had him much lower on this, and by much lower, I mean, I think I had him like 16 or so. I had him below Alperin and Mobley, I believe. Might have even, I might have had him below a men on my final list, but I'm not 100% sure. The real reason is injuries. LaMelo has not been able to stay healthy yet in his career, right? He's had like one season where he's been able to stay remotely healthy. He played 75 games in his second season, played 51 in his first season. He played 36 last year and played 22 in 2023-24. He's missed over 100 games the last 2 years. It is hard, I think, to count on that right now and to count on him being on the court. Outstanding talent and creativity. To me, it was just hard to count on him being on the court.
Yeah. Looking at those numbers now, I mean, obviously I looked in, but I don't think I took that into enough account when then you also factor in how bad the defense is and then the efficiency. So I actually think people should probably be yelling at me for having him too high and bumping him up. Although it's still a guy that's averaged in the games he's played over 20 points a game the last 3 seasons. Even on that efficiency, he's a high volume 3-point taker and maker, free throw percentage, 8 assists a game. Again, the defense is so bad. He makes some ridiculous. I just didn't know. Like straight up.
Let's talk
this
about
was
the
my
offense
heart.
First, before
this was my hardest one, Sam. I didn't know because the talent is real. He makes ridiculous shots. The passing can be really impressive at times. He can really touch the paint at times, get others involved. I couldn't figure it out. And based on how high we have Brandon Miller, I can't even defend that he's going to be the primary guy on that team because I don't think that's going to be the case in 2 years from now. So yeah, I just wasn't sure. He's too talented. He's put up too big of numbers, I guess, for me to feel comfortable having him a whole lot lower than what I had him, I guess.
Yeah. I really appreciate the talent that he has, is why I think this is like a fine place to put LaMelo. He is incredibly gifted.
Yeah.
As a basketball player. Like the ability to get to step backs, the ability to get to spots on the court, the ability to drive and finish at the basket on some level. The overall touch that you mentioned, being able to be a high volume 3-point shooter. The passing is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like the way that he thinks through things on the court a lot of the time as a passer and decision maker and playmaker, the way he sees the court is it's like unbelievable. And he's pretty generally, I would argue, on target with his passes as well. I think he does a great job of manipulating defenders with his eyes. I think the way that he kind of moves players just by looking in different directions on the court is remarkable to me. I also just don't trust him when he's on the court.
Sure.
And this is where we can talk about the decision making. Like, he makes some of the craziest decisions on the court I've seen in a while from a talented player. And like, you could say that that's going to improve, right? Like, he's young and he's immature and things like that. But man, like, some of the choices are just crazy to me. Some of them are just like absolutely insane. And I don't think you can win with some of those choices in terms of shot selection and in terms of passing and playmaking. Like, I don't think that you can. Yeah, I just don't think you can be consistent as an organization with that. And again, this is before we get to the defense.
So that's what I was going to say is I think that's where it gets really tough is, do you think somebody with kind of the process he has right now in terms of willingness to make those decisions and the wild passes and some of the shot attempts along with the defense, is that something that ever translates to winning at a high level, regular season or postseason? And I think that's where it's hard.
At his current style of play, no, I think it doesn't. He is young. He's still 23 years old. There are adjustments that can and will be made, as we've talked about with a number of these players, right? But as of right now, I don't really trust it at that level. And this is where we can talk about the defense. LaMelo is the worst defender on this list.
Yeah.
Point blank. He is so aggressively bad in terms of caring about what's happening on the weak side when he's there. Frankly, in terms of efforts, second efforts, getting around screens, being willing to just like kind of fight. He is just really, really poor on that end in a way that has to get better if they're going to win. If they are going to win in any way, shape, or form, he has to get better on that end. He can't be as inattentive and frankly, like uncaring is what we've seen a lot of the time from him. If they're going to be a consistent, like winning team with him and Brandon Miller.
Yeah. No, it was bad is just the word. And there's some some guys above him that we'll definitely talk about, not even on this episode, on our final episode when we get into the top 9 that aren't great defenders, that they're probably where they're at, like not a few spots higher because of the defense. But I don't think I would say they're this bad. And I think you bring up how, where he just doesn't seem focused in and all of that. Like, that's truly what it is. So it's an issue. It's a real issue. And like you said, that combined with the injuries, combined with the inefficiency, decision-making, I feel bad because obviously we like some things about him, or he wouldn't have been ranked at this spot on the average between you and I.
Incredibly talented player.
I think what we're trying to
talented player.
justify here is why he can't be higher, any higher. And even maybe why we struggled to even put him as high as we did and not feel great about it, I think is what it is for me. I put him where I did and I still struggled because of some of these things that hopefully will get better. Hopefully he will stay healthy. Hopefully he will care more on defense, and hopefully he will find efficiency. And especially now that he has a running mate like a Brandon Miller on his team.
Yeah. And a new coach, like hopefully
a new coach.
But like, look, Steve Clifford
Yeah.
isn't exactly easy to make happy on the defensive end. Let's go with. He demands a pretty high level of accountability on the defensive end. If he wasn't getting that from LaMelo, I'm a little bit skeptical on him getting it on LaMelo, like kind of being willing to do that from anybody. But hey, yeah. No, I had looking through my final list, which like I kind of shared with you, but kind of didn't. I ended up with LaMelo at I believe 16. So yeah.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see what Charles Lee, as a first-year head coach, finally getting his chance, is able to do with him. So
yeah.